Yes, that too. And hello, welcome back. It is me, Anime Wheat, or Wheat Anime. I don't care which one you call me. Call me either. I own both of the titles because that is me. Either way. Welcome back to another part of What If Deku was Nanamis reincarnation. Okay, welcome back. I thank you all for listening. And let's get into the video. So where we last left off with this story was that everyone was in the dorm room, right? And everyone was talking. A lot of people were talking with each other. We're going to do a time skip. A day later, and everyone would still. This is on a weekend, and oh crap! I forgot to do the disclaimer. Well, like usual, disclaimer. I do impressions. You might hear background noise. Yeah. I repeat stuff. So yeah, I'm sorry about forgetting about doing the disclaimer in the beginning of the video. But yeah, let's get back into the story. So it would be the next day from where we last left off. And Aizawa would walk in and say to everyone in there. Well, not everyone is in the common room. The main room. Right. Not everyone is in there. So he yells up to have everyone get down here, and because he needs to talk with them. And eventually everyone would come down, and they would all either sit down or, well, in Midoriya's case, he would go get he came in. He just got back, so he was gonna go get something to eat. He was training, right? And he would walk down there, and yeah. He would grab something to eat, and he would go back to where everyone would be, and he would listen to Aizawa. And Aizawa would say, finally you all are here. But the reason I'm here is to tell you all that there's going to be a second internship type issue thing. But you have to head to pass the final, the provisional license exam. You would have to pass that to actually do this, okay? And, well, Nezu gave us the thumbs up to do it, even though I agree against it. But yeah, so here's the rules of this. You must find someone to be willing to take you in and have a good enough score of internships to actually go there, okay? I don't care if you do it or not. You don't have to. But those of the few that do want to can, okay? Okay. I'll leave you all to the rest of your day. Okay. And Aizawa would walk out of there, leaving everyone to their own devices. Okay? And Midoriya would be thinking back to what Tamaki said. What Tamaki said to him, and what Nejire said to him. Hold on. He would be thinking of what Nejire and Tamaki said to him yesterday when they wanted to talk. Right. They asked both of, him if, they knew Aizawa and Nezu would maybe do this, so they asked him if he wanted to join their internships of sorts, right? And he would be thinking a lot about it ever since then. But now that he is allowed to, he is confused on what to do. See, he doesn't really know whether he wants to do it or not. But yet, after some time, he would be training in the UA training center, right? He would be training, and he would make his decision. The way he's training is training with his quirk and his fighting style. The way he fights, right? He would be training like that. And while training, a couple of his classmates and Class 1B, not his classmates, Class 1B would walk in and ask him, most of them would ask nicely for him to go because they wanted to train there. Well, as I said, most of them asked nicely. Monoma just said, leave or I beat you, which Midoriya did not take that the way Monoma wanted him to take it. Midoriya took that as a threat, not as a playful joke, right? And Midoriya would say, I was gonna leave. Nice, just leave. But since Mr. Monoma, parent top dog in your class, wants to bark all the time. I certainly don't see a bite on him. And he would walk up and get in Monema's face. Like, up in his face. No cares in the world. And given Midoriya is not short or scrawny by any means. Right? He is not scrawny. He is quite big for his age. Right? And well, in canon, Midoriya is like 5'5" or something, right? I believe so, at least. And he's not small by any means. So he would be around as tall as Todoroki in canon, right? Todoroki is like 166 centimeters, which I believe is like 5'8". No, 5'6" maybe. I think. I don't know. I'll have to check. But yeah. So, yeah. Couple of the 1B students would get between them and say not to fight. And Midoriya would say, "Oh, it's not a fight. It's gonna be a spar." I'm joking with him, Monema. I'm joking with you. Man. You can't shut up, can you? That's gonna bite you in the ass someday, I can tell you that much. But you keep on working, Monema. Maybe we'll get to face off at some point. But I'll see you all later. See ya. And Midoriya would leave them all be, and he would go. He would go back to his dorm room and take a shower, and he would be thinking of what he does want to do the other internship, but yet he doesn't know who to go with. See, he could very well go with somebody, like, he has talked to Mirio at different points, so maybe he can introduce him to his internship of deals. Or he could go with Nejire and Ryuku. Or he could go with Tamaki and Fat Gum. But yet he does not know what he should do. So he would eventually make up his mind. And he would say, screw it. I'll ask Tamaki if she could introduce him to Fat Gum. See, Kirishima decided not to do it in this version of the story, right? He didn't want to, even though he was thinking about it. You want? No. Nah, I don't know. Yeah, screw it. Kirishima does do it, okay? He does do it. Right. He asks... Well, Midoriya would still be thinking on it. But Midoriya would be outside sitting on the porch. I guess you would call that a porch. He would be sitting there, looking out. Right. And he would see Kirishima walk out. And he would ask, "Hey, Kirishima, where are you heading?" Just so I could know. And Kirishima would say, "Oh, I'm gonna go ask if Mirio would introduce me to his internship. Maybe I can do it. I don't know. I'm gonna try though. Seems like a fun thing." And Midoriya would hop down, go up to Kirishima, and say, I'll walk with you. I'm going that way anyways. I'm gonna go ask Tamaki if she'll introduce me to her internship." And Kirishima would say, "Really? Cool, dude. Yeah, come on, let's walk together. We're going the same way, right?" And Midoriya would say, "I just said that, but yeah, we are." And they would go. They would start walking to their own ways. Well, together. Right? And they would make it to a training room. Because they couldn't find either of them at all. Walking around the whole entire school, they couldn't find them. So they just decided they would train. They would be lifting weights because that's what Kirishima likes to do. Right. They'd be doing physical training. And they would go in there and train. The one thing they would do is grab a weight bar, put like 150 pounds on there, and would toss it back and forth, do like one rep, toss it back to the other person. They would do one rep, and then toss it back to the other person, one rep, toss it back. And they would repeat that for a while. Right. And every 50, they would up 50 pounds. Right? No. They started at 50 pounds, right? And every 50, they would add 50 pounds. So they would be doing that and that. They would be doing that for a while. They would get up to 350, maybe just 300 before they would both start to give out. But yet, right around when they would finish doing the training, they would see a couple people walk in the weight room, and they didn't know that these people, well, they knew who they were. They could tell who it was. It would be their teachers. A couple of teachers, and they would be walking around. And Midoriya would say, "Hey, Kirishima, want to take a break? Come back to this? Redo it? See how far we could go again?" And Kirishima would say, "Yeah, let's go." And they would take a break a little bit. The teachers that would be in there would be ectoplasma, Cementos, and yeah, just those two. Right. And the Midoriya and Kirishima would get done taking their break, and they would keep it going, keep on doing it. Every 50 they would change or up the weight. And the ectoplasma would say, "You see that too?" And Cementos would say, "Yeah, a little weird." You want to stop them? Or you want to see how far they can go? And ectoplasma would say, "I think we should see how this goes." I don't know. I'm just trying to voice it, guys. I don't know what to do. I'm just trying to voice for ectoplasma. I don't know if I like it or not. But yet, yeah. Those two would watch the two students. And eventually ectoplasm would get a call from Aizawa. And Aizawa would be saying, "Hey, ectoplasma, have you seen two of my students?" And ectoplasma would say, "Which two?" I hope I'm saying, which two? I don't know if you could understand me. I'll just keep on doing it. And Aizawa would say, "Oh, they kind of look like traffic lights. Midoriya and Kirishima. Mirio and Tamaki are looking for them." Well, Mirio was looking for Kirishima. So, and I went over to the 1A dorms and couldn't find them there. So, I've been calling around with they said Kirishima went looking for Mirio a little bit ago. So, decided to call you because maybe you know where he was. And ectoplasma would say, "Well, I do know where they are. I know where Kirishima is and Midoriya is. And they're in the weight room doing crazy lifts, I guess. Oh no, they're here at the weight room." And Aizawa would say, "Okay, Mirio is coming over there. Okay. So, yeah, see ya." And he would hang up. And ectoplasma would they would still be watching those two. And they would see them change weights every 50 times, adding 50 more pounds, which they've done it around 200 times about now. And yeah, so they would have added. They started at 50, and then added another 50, and then added 100 if you add another 50, and then added 2 more 50s. So 250 pounds, which they are currently at right now. And once Mirio would get there, they would be at 350 pounds going on 400. I know that sounds a lot, but yet there's a kid in my area that can deadlift 500 pounds, so I don't see it not natural, since these students have quirks and are trained to be heroes, which I don't see there's a problem in this. I don't know. But yeah, they would keep on going. Eventually, Mirio would get there, and Mirio would say, "Hey, Hiroshima, where you at, bud? You said you wanted to talk to me?" And Kirishima, being mid-throw to Midoriya, saying, "Oh, hey, man, I'm over here. You want to come join? We're lifting weights. You want to come join?" And Mirio would say, not right now, but I might at some point." And Kirishima would say, "Oh, come on. Okay. I'm gonna go, Midoriya. Okay?" And Midoriya, being caught off guard because he was staring at the door when the 400-pound weight was thrown at him, he would be hit, and it would be on top of him, crushing him. And Kirishima thinks he's fine, so he just walks away. And the two teachers would run over and help him get up. Right. And yeah. Which it took a little bit to get him up, but yet they eventually did. And yeah. So now we do a time skip. A little bit later. It would be around like 6 o'clock. Midoriya, before Mirio had left with Kirishima, before they talked, he would ask if Tamaki would be, where Tamaki is at the current moment. And Mirio would say, "Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen her or Nejire for a while. And they normally tell me where they're going. But I also haven't seen them since morning, so I don't know where they are. They could have left, I don't know. I'll give them a, hey, you don't have their numbers by any chance, right?" And Midori would say, "No, I don't." And Mirio would give, Mirio would give Midoriya, his number, and, Nejire and Tamaki's number to Midoriya. Right. And he would say, Mario would say, well, there's my number, Nejure's and Tamaki's. So, call them if you want. Or me. I don't care. I'm gonna go introduce this guy to Sir Night Eye. With All Might. All Might has to come, so I'm going with him. And Midori would say, okay, I'll see you all later then. Okay. And they would go. Mirio and Kirishima would go meet All Might, which they would go meet Night Eye. And yeah, a lot of things would happen there. I'm not going to go through it, but I'm going to focus on Midoriya. And Midoriya would say, well, he would look at his phone and he would call Tamaki. And he would say, well, Tamaki would answer and say, hello? Who is this? And Midori would say, oh, hi, Tamaki senpai. It's me, Midoriya. I was gonna ask you a couple questions. About yesterday. And, yeah. And, Tamaki would say, what type of questions, Midoriya? And Midoriya would say, oh, you know how yesterday, you said you could introduce me to your internship that you're working at currently? And Tamaki would say, oh, yeah, I can introduce you to him tomorrow at their school, if that's alright. And Midori would say, oh, that's okay. Yeah, tomorrow, at their school. I'll see you then. And Midori would head back to his dorm room. Well, after talking a little bit. And then we're done to do a time skip to the next day after school. And Tamaki and Midoriya would be going to meet Fat Gum. Right? And when they got there, Midoriya, well, they would introduce, Tamaki would introduce Midoriya to Fat Gum, and Midoriya would introduce himself as well. Right? And Fat Gum would say, oh, you're the one Tamaki is always talking about, eh? That's cool. Sure. I'll let you in. We'll start tomorrow. I'll call your school. Or Tamaki will go talk to the teachers and whatnot, and we'll set it up, okay? So you can join me and Tamaki on patrols tomorrow. And, Midori would say, okay, let's go. Whew. I hope, Kirishima's alright with this. With, his internships. Oh, is that all? I don't know how this works. And Fat Gum would say, well, since you're gonna be here tomorrow, I might as well introduce you to all my sidekicks and whatnot, take you around the building, show you around, and then, then you can leave. And then Fat Gum introduces him to everyone around the building. And time skip to the next day. Kirishima would be back. Kirishima would be back anyways. But when he got back, when Midoriya got back, he would go. Well, everyone would be talking to him at the moment, saying how the thing go, and he would say, I got in, given it took a lot of convincing to Sir Night-Eye. But, yeah, I eventually got in. Hey, Midori, how about you? Did you get into yours? And Midori would say, oh, yeah, I got in. Alright, yeah. And, yeah. Midori would sit around and talk to everyone else. And then we'll do a time skip to the next day. He would do school since their control would be at night. So he would be able to do school and then go to Fat Gum's agency with Tamaki. And then, yeah. And they would go on patrol. And they would see a robbery I believe a robbery. I don't really remember what was the deal with that. But yeah. So they all got into action and then beat the first guy down relatively easy. Tamaki caught him with the tentacle, the squid part of her quirk, which is manifest, which I feel like you know what her Tamaki's quirk does. I feel like you already know what that does. So she would use her tentacle powers, the squid powers, and yeah. And then after catching him, Midoriya would run up, knee the guy in the face, knocking him out, and he would, the guy he kneed in the face and knocked out would be dropped to the ground, and then, they would hear Fat Gum would be busy with the bigger one in the group fighting him. Then they would hear a cocking of a gun. And they would see a guy pointing a gun at Tamaki. And he would fire. But yet, before it could hit Tamaki, Midoriya would get in front and hit it with his cleaver knife weapon, blocking it, and the bullet would fall to the ground, and then that guy would be trying to run away, and Midoriya would be going after him. But before that guy would run away, he would put another bullet in, and he would shoot blindly behind him, trying to hit Midoriya or the girl, Tamaki, or Sun Eater. I don't think I've ever stated Midoriya's hero name, but it is Ratio. His hero name is Ratio. So, yeah. he would start running, which the second shot would be a normal bullet, and it would nearly hit Tamaki, but Fat Gum got over there in time and got in front and the bullet didn't do anything to him because of his quirk. And Midoriya would be using his quirk to catch up to the guy, and he would kick the guy into an alleyway and would jump in there, and he would see the guy on the ground, quivering, scared, talking all this nonsense. But yet he would also see the guy reach into his pocket, and it would be a syringe, and he would stab himself with this said syringe, which it being the quirk enhancing drug, and his quirk would go overtime, really go haywire like it did in canon. So Midoriya would have to think of a way to take care of this fast and getting not hurt in the process. So he would think of a plan, and he knows that there are people around where he is, and he would say screw it, and he would go head first into the guy, and he would be using before that he would be dodging these things, breaking him off easily with his blade, his cleaver knife weapon thing. And once he would get closer to said guy, he would yell out, "Black Flash!" and hit the guy square in the chest, sending him back into the wall, knocking him out. Right. And then the people around him, around Midoriya, they would be cheering him on, asking his hero name, and he would say, "You can call me Ratio. Now, I'll be taking this guy away. I'll leave you all. I hope none of you are hurt. Yeah, I'll see y'all later. You all stay safe." And he would drag the guy away. The only real injuries he would have would be like a minor cut on his leg, or a gash on his leg, and then on his arm, and then he would have like a bone thing still sticking out of his left leg, so that would be hurting. I mean, these aren't minor injuries, these are injuries. So yeah, he would be walking out there, dragging this guy on the ground. People would be seeing him just carry this guy, dragging this guy over to Fat Gum and Tamaki, and Midoriya would yell out, "I got this one," given he got stuff happened. And when he would walk up, people would be worried because he does not have a hardening quirk or anything type deal. His quirk is Ratio, and it is mostly melee damaging quirk. So they knew he was weird because they have seen the sports festival and other fights he's been in. They've heard stories. So once he would be walking out, he doesn't act hurt. He would still have a stone cold face. Like, I'm fine type deal face. And he would slide the guy or drop the guy on the ground. And he would say, here's that one. Tommy Kelly, are you okay? You don't look okay. Are you okay? And he would start getting closer to the Tamaki, and he would start like poking her or something. And Fat Gum would say, I think we should worry about you. We got Tamaki. She was barely even hit with the bullet. She is fine. We should be worrying about you, and I think that's why she is like that. Oh, well, this one does hurt, and he would be pointing to his leg. Like, this one does hurt, like, a lot. But that's the only real pain I really have. So, yeah, I feel perfectly fine at the very moment. And Fat Gum would say, you don't look fine. Well, he wouldn't say, would anyone like to help me get this out of my leg? And Tamaki would hug him. And Midoriya would say, whoa now, what's this all about? What is happening? But yet he would, like, do a one-armed, like, pat on her back, and yeah, and Tamaki would say this through tears, but I'm not doing that. Tamaki would say, you went through all this pain because I got hurt. Well, not really. I'm fine. To do this, you are so reckless. Oh, gosh. No, I'm going to change up the whole entire story. Midoriya, well, when Tamaki got shot, right, Midoriya thought it was in a bad spot, so he was pissed off and angry, okay? Which is the same meaning, just two different words. He was angry because he thought Tamaki was hurt bad. Right. So he went after that guy as fast as he could and took him down. But yet, so that's why I said that Tamaki said, you did this for me because I got hurt. And yeah. And Tamaki would also say, you are so reckless. And Midori would say, yep, I've heard that before. But yet, does anyone want to help me get this out of my leg? I think it start to get, like, irritated. And he would start, like, poking it, like, anyone want to help me? Oh, yeah. He would say, they also shot a weird-looking bullet, at Tamaki first. I blocked it. I don't know if it got, like, shattered or anything, but it's over there. That guy I chased down also took, like, a drug or something. I wasn't very much paying any lick of attention. So, yeah. So, yeah, you know what I mean. I'm gonna go try to get this out of my leg somehow. Still offering, would anyone like to help me Get it out! Ah! What the crap, man? And he would be saying this because, Tamaki just ripped it out of his leg. Like, full on, like, ripped it out of his leg mid-sentence. And Tamaki would say, well, you did want it out of your leg. You could have gave me you. And Midori would say, you could have gave me a warning. Good thing it was already in my stab leg. I've been stabbed in this leg before. So now, I should have 2 cool scars. I think that's how that works. That's probably not how that works, huh? Probably not even a little. He would be, like, Fat Gum, the police officer, and Tamaki would look at him in a type of concern, and Midori would say, I grew up with 2 blonde idiots, given I am also blonde, but yet I'm the only one out of the 3 that has common sense, sort of, but yet not really. And Fat Gun would say, yeah, I get, blondes will do that to you, and will be reckless, given I am also blonde, and I'm reckless, and I don't think we need to keep on going on this, a blonde, reckless, streak anymore. I think we get him to the hospital, let those guys take him to jail, the criminals to jail, and we go on our day, and get some sleep. And Tamaki would say, blondes, dumb, stupid blondes, that's all I am here. Oh, stupid blondes. But yet, yeah, they would keep on going. Well, time skip, they would go, well, during that time skip, they would go to the hospital. Bang, bang, bom, 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 bop, bing. And Midori would go to the dorm at middle of the night. It would be around like 1 to 2 in the morning, and he would get to sleep for 5 hours, which is quite a bit of hours, but it's not fun getting 5 hours of sleep and then getting woken up. I've dealt with it. I've done worse. I've gotten 2 hours of sleep and stayed up. I've done 4 hours. I've done 3 hours. Yeah. It's not fun getting like a couple of hours of sleep and then staying up for a multitude of hours with no type of caffeine. And if you don't drink any type of caffeine, like say coffee or tea in the morning, you get like a minor headache, like not even minor, you get a full-on migraine if you didn't have any type of caffeine in the morning. At least that happens to me. I drink like I don't drink a lot of caffeine filled stuff. I mostly drink water and water. I drink a lot of water. So, yeah. So, I drink, like, 1 thing of caffeine, and which it is a can of Arizona tea. I absolutely love that stuff. I'm addicted to it. But, yeah, that's enough about me. Let's get back to the story. So, yeah. Midori would be woken up quite early. It would be like 7 in the morning. Not 7. It would be like 6 o'clock, so that he could get ready and go to school, go to the class. Well, the way he's being woken up, though, is brutal. Bakugo and Kaminari would be waking him up. Kaminari would have, like, the symbols, like those big symbols, like the ching, 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 ching. You know what I mean? He would have symbols that he stole from Juro. And Bakugo would be using his quirk, and they would be, like, everyone else was awake and getting ready to go to school, right? Yeah. See, Midoriya is a very heavy sleeper, so he didn't hear, like, Kaminari or Bakugo, like, shaking him awake or anything, right? So they decided to wake him up terribly. I've been woken up like this, but minus the whole entire explosion part. Yeah. I've had people on where I live, on my roof, directly above my bedroom, fixing the roof. Yeah. And they just went ham. Given in both stories. In my experience and in the story, they just started yelling and using their Kaminari with his symbols and Bakugo with his quirk. And Todoroki would walk by with Sakio. Intelli, I'll just call her that. Intelli. And they would both see them two doing this and hear them doing this. They would they would both be ready for school. And they would yell in there and say, "What are you two doing?" And those two, which Kaminari would answer, "Oh, we are waking up Midoriya." And Todoroki would say, "Well, first off, it's not working." And those two would quit and look at Midoriya dead asleep. And Todoroki would walk in and would go up to Midoriya and, like, say, "Hey, wake up. It's time to go to school, man." And Midoriya would say, "Oh, hi, Todoroki. What else is..." And, Kaminari and Bakugo would go again. Go ham again. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, no, terrible sound effects. But yet, yeah, that's how it sounded. And everyone in the whole entire dorm room, in the one next to it, which is 1B, which, though 1B would already be outgoing, Aizawa would go over there and ask what is happening, which nobody knew what was happening if they were in the common room. So he went upstairs and saw Sakio standing outside of the door, and he would see Todoroki get thrown out of the door by Bakugo. And Aizawa would run up and ask what is happening, but yet he would barely even hear the answers from Sakio and Todoroki, and he would say, "Would you all shut up?" And he would know that it would be Midoriya's room, but yet he would see no sign of Midoriya. But yet he would see, Aizawa would see Bakugo and Kaminari with symbols, and Bakugo using his quirk. And they would all be confused because they didn't see Midoriya at all. But yet they would... So they would all walk in, surround his bed, right, and look under, but yet nothing's under the bed. Someone would go in the bathroom because the door was open. Nothing, closet, nothing. So they would also check the balcony, nothing. But they were very confused. And then they heard a thump behind them, and they would see Midoriya on the ground, face first on the carpet floor, on the floor, and they would hear him groan, and he would stand up, not easily, so he would get help up, and he would be ready. Surprisingly, he would be trying to like, he would still be like half asleep, and he would say, "Why is there so much? Is everyone else's ears ringing?" Which everyone else in Class 1A has gone to the classroom or were on their way when Aizawa walked in. Right? And Aizawa would ask, what is going on in here? Okay? That's all I want to know. And Bakugo would say, well, we were trying to wake up Midoriya for 30 minutes. We started at 6 o'clock, right? Trying to wake him up. Yeah, he won't wake up. Yet he won't wake up. And then we went on for 30 minutes trying to wake him up again. Trying to keep on waking him up. And then it turned 7 or 6:35. And I got tired of it. Everyone else was awake. So I said, screw it. I said to Kaminari, hey Kaminari, go get Juro's symbols. Right? And we're going to wake this guy up. Whether he likes it or not. So we started going bonkers, right? We started going haywire trying to wake him up. And then these two walked by, right? And then Todoroki magically woke him up. And I got mad. So did Kaminari. And we started going again. And then you showed up, and the rest that you already know. And Aizawa would say, so you made me get up because you were angry that Todoroki nicely woke him up by the sounds of Todoroki. And also, why did you throw her out of the room, is my question. And Midoriya would instantly, like, get up, like, wake up, like, and he would turn to Todoroki, and he would say, you got thrown out of the room? And Todoroki would say, yeah, I mean, it wasn't like a rough throw. It was more like a, get out of here type throw. And Midori would say, which one of these two threw you? And Todoroki would say, Bakugo? Why? Oh, you're dead, Bakugo. When we go to our hero class, and if we train, you're dead. You're dead, kid. For this waking me up, which I was in the hospital for multiple hours because I was on patrol with my internship, okay? Okay, that's why I was sleeping, which I'm supposed to go again tonight, right? And as I would say, yeah, you were in the hospital? I thought you were just at the ancient sea lake. I knew you did go, so at least I knew that. And Todoroki would say, Midoriya, why were you in the hospital? And Midoriya would say, oh, I got stabbed through the leg. And my arm. And my other leg. And my abdomen, my side. I'm perfectly fine. But yeah, I'm perfectly fine. Well, minus me. And he would yawn like a massive yawn. Well, and he would grab his goggles, put them on, and he would start walking. Well, I'll see you at class, if I can make it there. And he would start limping out because his leg, but he wouldn't start limping. No, he would be fine. He would start walking out, and Sakio, and Telly and Todoroki would look at each other, and they would just be confused. What? But yet they would walk out. Everyone would go to class. Yeah. Bakugo and Kaminari did get in trouble because they woke up Aizawa. Not because Midori or anything. I mean, that's just how he goes. He rolls. But yeah. That would happen. And then... yeah. Time skip. A week has gone by since Midoriya has been in the internship. And we would be at the dorm room. It would be a weekend. A Saturday at the very moment. Right, and Midoriya, Oraka, and Asuyu, and Kirishima would be going to their internships. Right, and yeah. Which, weirdly enough, they would be going the same way because Midori did get a text from Tamaki to get there, to get to that way. Right. And they would eventually make it to the said place, which I don't remember. I don't remember where they said they were. I don't remember. But yeah, they would go, make it there. They would go up, and they would see a meeting room. A lot of heroes and their teacher, Fat Gum, Ryuku, Night Eye, and so forth. Mirio, Tamaki, and Nedra would also be there. So, yeah. They would sit where, respectively, in their new... Like, Kirishima would sit by Mirio. Midoriya would sit by Fat Gum. And Uraraka and Tsuyu would sit in their normal spot. Because they didn't change. Yeah. So, yeah. They would go. And... yeah. The meeting would start. Night Eye would say what happened with Kirishima and Mirio. And yeah, that would happen. And after getting the news, which Midoriya during that thing would stay relatively quiet, but yet Fat Gum would say that he said. And yeah, it would be another time skip. The students would be, which they would still all go on patrols with the heroes, right, on their days. I think that's how it worked, but I don't know. Yeah. And now we do another time skip, which Aizawa did have the conversation with the four of his students, being Todoroki, no, Midoriya, Todoroki, no, Midoriya, Kirishima, Uraraka, and Tsuyu. He would have that conversation that he did in canon. And the day of the raid of the Shihei Hasakai, you know what I mean. You know who overhauls group. And the guy would say, well, the guy with the microphone, the badge, whatnot, he would say, villains, I will give you this one chance to walk out here and give up before we have to use lethal measures. That's the word. Before we have to use lethal measures, okay? And nobody came out until they saw a giant human being just run out of a wall and charge into the officers and police and heroes and whatnot, and other people would follow. Ryuku would say, the Ryuku agency will handle this villain. And that's what they would do. The Ryuku agency, given that made up of Nejire, Ryuku, Uraraka, and Tsuyu, they would handle the big guy, which I never bothered getting the name of, because the only person that matters to me in the overhaul group is Rampa. He's just the one I care about the most. He's the one that is the coolest. Rampa. We all know him. How can't ya? He's amazing. If you like him, I mean, you don't have to. You could just plain out hate him. But yeah, I absolutely adore him. So yeah, everyone would charge, people would fight people. The police officers and heroes would fight the smaller ones, as you know. The main group of heroes and officers would run in there, take out villains, blah blah blah, and the other ones would keep on going. Right. And yeah, and now we get down into the tunnels, right? And with that, we would have them be running through. But yet Midoriya would notice something, and he would say, "Everyone stop!" And they would see nothing happening. But yet Midoriya would say, "Hold on." And he would take like a full step forward, and a giant pillar of like concrete would towering towards him, and he would say, well, Tamaki would take care of those 3 villains, as you know, and Midoriya would say, "I knew it." And he would pull out his thing and would hit the pillar coming towards him. He would hit it, and it would shatter. I mean, for a little bit before it continued towards him. And he would just keep on hitting it, breaking it, letting everyone go through. But yet, there would be another pillar, like weapon. No, another pillar going at the heroes passing through. So Midoriya, letting the one in front of him hit him, he would use the momentum of being hit and being traveling to hit the other one, and the only other person to get hit would be Fat Gum. No, Fat Gum would still get hit, and Kirishima would hop in there too. No, Midoriya actually caught... No, the only singular pillar would still be going out, which it has pushed back Midoriya a huge margin, right? But yet it just overpowered him to a point where he flew into a hole with nobody else. And it was sealed up right after Midoriya flew through and was trapped in a chamber. And everyone in that room would say, well, it would be a multitude of reactions. Aizawa would say kid, and Kirishima would also say, well, Midoriya. Kirishima and Aizawa would yell out Midoriya, while everyone else would say Ratio. Right? But yet, they would hear Midoriya yelling, "I'm fine. It's just very dark in here." Oh. Well, no, it's not. You all go on. I'll catch up in a minute. I'm gonna look around in here. And I'll be fine. Trust me on it. And Midoriya would be walking through, given now there's lights, and he would hear a voice. Well, look who it is. A hero. Man, I hope you're strong. But yet, you don't look like a known hero. So, who exactly are you? And Midoriya would say, well, my name is Ratio. And if I may know your name, because I introduced myself in common courtesy would be to be you introduce yourself since I introduced myself. And the larger one of the guys, the people would say, well, I'm Rampa. I hope you're strong. And the other guy, I don't care. I don't care about any other of these guys, except for that one cool guy with the time, like, quirk, with, like, his quirk, and it's, like, his hair's, like, in the shape of, like, a clock. You know what I mean? That guy. I need to learn his name as well. But yet, Rampa is the best. I don't care. He's my favorite villain. So, yeah. Rampa would charge at Midoriya, but yet Midoriya would yell out, Ratio Blast! And he would be hitting the air, sending, like, air blast at Rampa, and hitting Rampa, making Rampa, like, stagger a little bit, like, backwards, like, and Rampa would say, whoa, those are strong, kid. But yet, you can't, yeah, those won't stop me. And Rampa would start, like, maniacally laughing, like, ha 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 ha, like, you know. But yet, while he was talking, which he should have just plain out shut up and would start fighting, which the other guy did say that, they would hear, well, Rampa and the other guy would hear. But the other guy would also see Midoriya moving. And Midoriya would yell out, Black Flash! And the Rampa would be getting sent backwards, tumbling right beside the other guy, which right after the Black Flash, Midoriya would also send Ratio Blast at them. Right. And the other guy would use his quirk, which is a force field quirk. Right. And yeah. He would be... Which now Midoriya is just playing on charging head first. And he would be able to break through the thing with his blade, using his quirk and using Black Flash. He would break through, hit the guy with the force field quirk, and then he would hit Rampa in, like, the knee using Black Flash. No, he would just hit him in the knee, making him fall, and then then Midoriya would he would hit Rampa in the other knee, making Rampa fall to his knees, and then just plain out hitting him over the head with a Black Flash, knocking him out, which would be, I know what you're about to say, well, that's overpowered. I know it is, but yet Midoriya was confident that he could do it, and they underestimated you know what I mean. They didn't take Midoriya serious because he looked like a kid. They didn't take him serious because he was an unknown hero to them. Right. So that's how they took him out. And he would see a door in the back, so he would just leave those two there. He would walk to the door, open it. See, it's a medical ward. Huh. And Midoriya would say, well, that's neat. But this is my time to go. Heading out. So he would walk back in the room, go back to where he was thrown through, and he would just start hacking away at the ground. Which, after time, it would take multiple minutes, hours maybe. But yet, he would be hitting with his full strength, using everything he could so that he could get out there and get helping again. Which he would eventually break through, go back through, and he would start using his quirk with his feet and would be launching himself through the hallway. And he would eventually see it like walls of concrete, and he would see people on one side, which he would break through the wall on this one side. He would see multiple officers right on this side, and he would break through the other door, and he would see a rock lock standing over another rock lock. And then Kirishima would eventually break out of there on their side, right, with Aizawa, which Fat Gum is with the police officers and crap. And they would be surrounding this fake rock lock, or what they seem to think this fake rock lock would be. But yet this rock lock would be smart enough to jump out of the way, stab Aizawa in the back, or erase her head, and would jump away. And yeah. And Midoriya would send Ratio Blast, which he would yell out, Ratio Blast! And he would be hitting the air, sending air blasts out of there. Which they were shocked at Midoriya being there because they never really realized it. Which Fat Gum did realize. Right? And yeah. They would continue going through. And they would, while standing there, some of the police officers would stay back and help Rocklock, right? Help him stay alive. And the others, the heroes, would run and would be which it would stop. They would stop. They saw something be thrown in front of them, so they would stop and they would look up and see a thing just standing there, like shivering, or quivering would be the right word to use in this type of sense, really. It would be quivering would be the correct word, as I said. Because the quirk enhancing drug that one character used has worn out. And now, it's messing with him. And Aizawa would notice this. and would use his quirk on the guy, and the guy would just fall out of the sky and would fall to the ground. Yeah, I mean, that one's done. So they would continue running. Hold on, let me check what time it is. Okay. And they would hear a slight, banging in a wall. Or they would see a wall broken through. So they would go in there and see Mirio down. Well, not down. He would still be fighting. And that's where I'm going to end it. Okay? It's 6:30 and it's cold out here. I'm going to go. So, like usual, I ask a question. I'm going to use last week's question as this one. Where do you want these what ifs to, what arc do you want these what ifs to stop? See, if you say anything past the, season 6, which, if you want me to stop at the end of season 6, I will. I will just have to rewatch, season 6, and that will take me time to do that, okay? So, yeah. Or I'll watch videos on it, see what happens. I don't know. I may stop at the overhaul arc. Probably not. I'll probably keep on going. I don't know how far, though. I want to do more what ifs. I want to get more content out to you all. I'd just like to have 3 stories at a time. So, yeah. I'll probably, whatever arc I'm at either, my limit for these what ifs is part 12. Maybe. Yeah, most likely part 12. Or 15. 15 is my limit to go, okay? 15 is the limit. So, I'm at part 8? Maybe 8. I'll have to check. Okay, I'll have to check. I don't remember. Which you can see as the title. So, like usual, like, subscribe, comment, whatever you want, answer my question, please, I beg you, and, yeah, I'll see you all Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. I'll see y'all then. See ya, y'all.